Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans on this Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. Thanks for joining me. I'm not going live at the moment. This is just an uploaded video pertaining to a very serious case out of Houston, Texas. I didn't go live, you guys, because I wanted to get this information out uninterrupted with no commentary and interruption. But I will be back on this evening with a live chat to discuss this case and another harrowing case out of Texas. ABC is the source for this news, local ABC News. Alexis Lee Sharkey, 26 years of age, was found discarded on the side of a road in Houston, Texas, and the 1,000 block of Red Hall Road with no clothes on. Miss Sharkey was 26 years of age, was married to a Tom Sharkey, and they moved to the Houston area to pursue warmer weather and better business opportunities and ventures for the said husband, Mr. Tom Sharkey. You all will probably hear a lot of talk pertaining to this case. You'll probably hear a lot of rhetoric going on in Facebook, and as I have told you all before, to be very careful when you venture into social media and getting the 411 and the 211 about a said situation, because people will talk and you don't know what is truth and what is not. But I will bring forth a little bit of the Facebook rhetoric, and I don't want to go deep into that only because I don't know the case, I don't know the people, and I don't know the circumstances pertaining to this woman being discarded off the side of the road. But nonetheless, I'm just letting you know there's already hype going on social media pertaining to the death of this lady. As I stated, 26-year-old Alexis Lee Sharkey was found discarded on the side of a Houston road Saturday. She moved here in January 2020 with her husband, Tom. She was discovered by a garbage sanitation worker. Her feet were sticking out of the brush, and he alerted authorities. The husband is the one who called the family back in Pennsylvania. This is where both her parents live, to notify them that she was missing. Okay. Her mom and friends are the ones who allegedly notified the police that she was missing, and not the husband. It is also stated that she, from another news source, that this place where she was discarded off of the 1,000 block of Red Hall Road with no clothes on is 4 minutes from her home. Her death was confirmed yesterday by the local medical examiner. Miss Sharkey was a popular Houston Instagram influencer. And may I say that she has 20,000 followers on Instagram. She attended school, majored in biology. Her mother said she was a ray of sunshine who adored traveling the world. She wanted to see the world. And she wants justice for her child, because she does, in proper English, she believes that her child was murdered. Miss Sharkey was missing on Friday. And as I say, her body was found on Saturday by a sanitation worker. She last talked to her mother on Thanksgiving. They discussed Christmas plans on Wednesday. The husband called the mother to say that she went missing and that he hadn't heard from her since Friday. And I believe my note states that he called on Saturday. As I say, this young lady is very popular on Instagram. She has been a spokesperson for the Mona company, and it is a skincare company. I'm kind of skimming over my notes. When the body was discovered, it appeared to have no injuries. So as I state, we, alongside the family and the world, are waiting on an autopsy report to give the said commentary on how Miss Sharkey passed away. This is very crazy to me. The police also believe that Miss Sharkey's body had been lying out there in the brush overnight. So when I go back in my notes and I'm trying to put things together pertaining to what was going on with this lady and what happened to her and when did she actually go missing. Because as I state, she was found in a brush off of I-10 on the side of the road on the 1000 block of Red Hall Road, discarded with no clothes on, no visible injuries. The husband alerted the family back in Pennsylvania, her parents were in Pennsylvania, that she was missing. And as I state, he did not report his wife missing to the authorities. It was her mother and friends. Now, mind you, I don't know how many friends she has in the state of Texas, the Houston area, because as I say, she just moved here the first of the year, so she would have been here almost a year, until she passed away. So, who are the said friends? Locally, she met a few people. Obviously, they're the ones who alerted her mother back home of her missing. Right now, autopsy results are pending. On December 3rd, which is Thursday, there will be a memorial at 5:30 at the Buffalo Bayou Park, and there is also a GoFundMe page set up for the funeral and travel costs pertaining to Miss Alexis Lee Sharkey, 26 years of age. I just want to make sure I'm getting everything out here to you guys. The baffling part of this story, which I'm sure this is the reason why a lot of gossip is running amok right now on social media, pertaining to Miss Sharkey's death and the husband. The channel news, the ABC News, contacted Mr. Tom Sharkey pertaining to his wife and her body being discovered. The phone call abruptly ended with Mr. Sharkey hanging up the phone on the reporter. And he told the reporter for him, she not to contact him again. And that to me is very strange, considering Miss Alexis, your wife, was found thrown out like trash on the side of the road, and you would tell the authorities that you don't want to talk. You don't want anyone calling you. So one would have to ask themselves, will you be giving any more statements to the public pertaining to the death of your wife, Miss Alexis Lee Sharkey? Her mom is named Stacy Clark Robinow. She's given a public interview to the news pertaining to her daughter. As you can see in the interview, she is terribly distraught and upset, and she wants justice for her child, and she should get it rightfully so. Now, I'm going to bring you questions that I have of my own pertaining to this death of this young lady, a very nice-looking young lady, because naturally, you know, this is a commentary channel, and that's what I do. I talk about a subject, I bring you the source, and then I give you my commentary thereafter. And what troubles me about this story is the fact that Mr. Sharkey did not call the authorities to say he could not find his wife. And we know the natural thing to do is to contact others when someone is missing. So, Mr. Sharkey, did you call your wife's friends? Did you have any of her friends' telephone numbers besides calling her mother? Why do you not want to talk to the News 13 any further or any other news outlets pertaining to the death of your wife? Where were you, Mr. Sharkey, when your wife went missing? Were you in the state of Texas or were you out of town? Because I don't know what Mr. Sharkey does for a living, but it is said that he is involved in international business and he worked, I guess, out of town. So I don't really know what he does because the article didn't verify what he did for a living. So I am wondering that. What does Mr. Sharkey do for a living? And was he in town when his wife went missing? And I believe in another article I read, she spent the holiday with some friends because she didn't want to go home. Now, I cannot say if that is truth or not. I'm just giving you that would be the 211 and not the 411. this issue with the funeral expenses. At first, late in the morning when I was doing my information, gathering it before going to bed, I thought, well, naturally, it's natural to need a GoFundMe if a person, one, can't afford the expenses of a funeral. Doesn't matter where the body is located. But then it dawned on me today when I got up to do more research to bring you all the said commentary. Why would you need a GoFundMe page if you're married? Did you all hear what I just said? I understand if the parents want the body flown back to Pennsylvania, yes, that would be a costly expense to fly Miss Alexis back to Pennsylvania so she can be buried in her hometown. That's common sense. But what is troublesome about that is that why would there be a need for a GoFundMe page when she is currently married to Mr. Tom Sharkey? And that came to me today because, you know, a queen doesn't leave a stone unturned when she is digging in the belly of the beast. And most definitely, this is the belly of the beast, considering the manner of death being discarded outside. Now, of course, that will also come into question. How did she get there, Miss Alexis? And she was unclothed and allegedly 4 minutes from her house, discarded on the side of the road in brush. And when you go into the said video, you will see the setup and the layout of the road. It doesn't look like a road where you see homes and street signs and different things. It looks like more, like they said, brush. The weeds are coming off onto the road. So there was a proper place for someone to discard her, so they thought. But she was found, and rightfully so, because she is not trash. She is a human. That is no place to throw out a body. You don't dump a body anywhere because, first of all, you have no business taking the life in the first place. What is going on with the Facebook bantering back and forth with the husband with different strangers on Facebook? You know, I tell you all that I don't like talking about Facebook when I do these stories, only because they can get out of control. Like the story I brought to you many moons ago last year out of Alabama, this is the reason why. Because once you go to Facebook and you start reading the different commentary and the he said and the she said and the allegations against this person, that person, the victim, it can get out of control and it can get you distorted on things that you don't know is the truth. But as I state, the way one handles themselves during an investigation in a case can be telling. So every little thing you do and say will be scrutinized, will be watched, will be noted, and will be repeated. And as they say, people grieve differently. I'm going to leave that one alone. Did you get my drift on that? Okay. Why would you, Mr. Sharkey, be going back and forth with strangers on Facebook pertaining to the death of your wife? Why would you indulge in that? And as one woman said on Facebook, yes, I went into Facebook because I wanted to pull up her mother. I wanted to pull up the husband to see what he posted to Facebook because people were talking about what he posted to Facebook, his commentary that they felt was not appropriate. And I was trying to see what they deemed inappropriate. I wanted to see what the mother had to say. I wanted to see the life of Miss Alexis, what type of person she was before her death. And, excuse me, there's already too much going on pertaining to the death of this woman. She hasn't even been buried yet, hasn't even had an autopsy yet. And people are already assuming what they think happened to her. Who did it and why? And you know it's a little too soon for that. And naturally, yes, people close to the victim will always be considered a suspect. That's common sense. That's common sense. And police will tell you that. We work our way from in to out. And we follow the lead. So as I say, Mr. Sharkey, why would you banter back and forth with outside people who don't know you and did not know Miss Alexis? And there's a creep running around on Facebook, jumping on different people's pages, giving his commentary and immersing himself into this case. I don't know what his stake is. I don't know his motive, and I don't know if he is actually involved. But I think he should sit down somewhere. And I'm not going to call out his name because you know I'm not going to do that. I only call out his name when the pot gets boiling on the stove and I deem it necessary. But for now, I'll let you all go to Facebook and you go pull up his name and see how this individual has immersed himself into this case of this woman. Now, does he know Miss Alexis? Is he friends with her? Was friends with her? Who is he? And why does he feel the need to be on Facebook going back and forth, bantering and talking and immersing himself into the case as a suspect? I don't get it. Because my thing is, if the police didn't come and you asking questions, why are you on Facebook talking about the lady? Period. Who did this? Who threw that lady out there on the side of that road? Because it's vile and it's foul to discard that woman out there like that. And you didn't think they would find her. And there's no way in my right mind that I believe Miss Alexis walked out there to the brush with no clothes on and laid out there on the side of the road. Whether there were visible injuries or not, I don't believe she went out there on her own. And that's my opinion. When you're dealing with the death of people found outside and not near their home, such as a garbage dump, side of the road in the brush, the landfill, places they don't normally frequent, a park. You all get my drift. One would come to believe that it is personal, the death, the murder. Because, you see, those of you who follow true crime, such as myself, know that when a person is being murdered in their home, the killer is not going to take them out of the house if it is random. If it is random. Because you see, the killer thinks or knows that nobody knows that he or she knows the victim. So, he or she has no reason to discard the body outside of the house. Are you all following me? Such as a break-in. If a man decides to break into the home of a victim, assaults the victim, rape, whichsoever, however it may go, he has no reason to clean up the scene. He has no reason to wrap up the body and take the body out of the home and discard the body. The only people who do this, discard bodies in sheets and tarps and plastic bags, you get my drift, are those who are close to the victim. Need I say more? Who took that lady out there? I think I'm sugarcoating my words. Who killed this lady? Because I refuse to believe that she walked herself out there and crawled in the bush on the side of the road and laid down and went to sleep. Where was the husband, Mr. Tom Sharkey, at the time of this crime? Where were you, Mr. Sharkey? Were you in Houston, Texas on Thanksgiving? Did you spend any time with your wife on Thanksgiving? You're saying she went missing on Friday. As I state, authorities are believing that Miss Sharkey's body was laid out there overnight. And will you speak to the police and the news from here on out pertaining to the death of your wife, Miss Alexis Sharkey? Because I find it very odd that a husband is allowing a GoFundMe page. Yeah, I'm going to say it in this video. Because I said I wanted to choose my words carefully, but I don't have to sugarcoat anything because, one, this is my channel. And I'm giving my opinion from common sense. I don't even have to know the victim or the husband or the mother to give you commentary on common sense. Common sense tells me, let me say that, that there would be no reason for a GoFundMe page if the husband makes lucrative money. You hear that? To ship the lady's body back to Pennsylvania, there will be no need for a GoFundMe page. Now, let's say the funeral services would take place in Houston, Texas, or the Texas area, somewhere in the state. If the parents couldn't afford to travel, that'd be different. I could see a GoFundMe page for the parents. They need money to travel to Texas if that is where Miss Alexis would be buried. But considering that she is from Pennsylvania and she has not lived in the state of Texas a whole year, and the article states the GoFundMe page is for traveling expenses, and naturally we know that means the travel of getting the said body back to Pennsylvania. So therefore, why would there need to be a GoFundMe page? Because the husband shouldn't have any problem paying a fee to get his wife back to Pennsylvania. And if the parents have some type of resources, each could decide to split the difference in the funeral arrangements back in Pennsylvania. And I'm not trying to be judgmental in any way. I'm just laying it out as common sense that no matter what, this man was married to her, so I can't understand why there would be a GoFundMe page set up. Because it seems to me he should be going over the moon to get his wife back to Pennsylvania if that is indeed where they're going to have funeral arrangements for Miss Alexis. You all see where I'm going with this? You are married to her. That is your wife. So why should a stranger or other parties set up a GoFundMe page for funeral arrangements? And I understand it can be expensive sending a body to another state. I get that. Texas to Pennsylvania is a long way. I get all of that. But what struck me odd is when I thought about it, this man is married to her. He obviously moved here for better opportunities with a job, the article says. Business ventures, the article says. And then it hit me. Okay. So, why is there a GoFundMe page set up? I'm just saying. And we don't have to sugarcoat it anymore. She was a beautiful girl. She had goals. She had dreams. She was doing things. She was an Instagram influencer. Obviously very popular with 20,000 followers. People liked her. But there's also rhetoric going out pertaining to her marriage. Also something alluding to the fact of a divorce that was mentioned on Instagram. I don't know because I didn't go scroll down, open it up to Instagram. So I don't know what is truth. But there's a lot of rhetoric going around about this young lady. And it's sad, and this is what I hate about these type of cases, when people start going to Facebook and putting the 211 out and the gossip, and we haven't even got a matter of death yet. So I'm just telling you all to be leery about going to Facebook and putting your comments on his page or whatever. Don't do it. Don't add fuel to the fire. If you have any information pertaining to the death of Miss Alexis Sharkey, please notify the authorities. If you all have any funds that you can help with aiding this child back home to Pennsylvania, any help to her parents, please do so, because death is final and they're already grieving and mourning, and I'm sure, they will need some type of assistance. But as I say, I just find it interesting that she is married. We're not talking about a single woman who passed away. Justice for Miss Alexis Sharkey. Prayers and condolences to her family, her parents, Mr. Sharkey, the husband, friends of Miss Sharkey. If you have any information pertaining to the death of Miss Sharkey, please notify the authorities immediately. Don't waste your time putting that rhetoric out there and gossip. Go to the authorities if you have something vital pertaining to this lady. Any information you have that you think is useful or helpful, please tell the authorities. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Mask up, America. I will be back later tonight to discuss this case and another case out of Texas. You all be safe out there. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.